Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Always, man. I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing absolutely great, man. I hope everyone took a challenge last week. That's one thing we have done. We have stopped challenging ourselves. And so I hope that everyone has taken a challenge, working on taking their life to another level. And hit me up and shoot me a comment and let me know how things going with you. As you come in, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this information. At least 25 people who need it. You know more than that, but try to get it over to one. If you can get one to listen to it, one to hear it, because a lot of times we don't want to hear the truth as a people, and it's time to bring some more truth out. And um, last week we was talking about the religion thing and the surviving of religion that we needed. And Coach, I know I hit you back up and asked you a question about it, and I was trying to get your final answer because I thought about you during the week and I posed this
Hmm.
question to you specifically. To you specifically. Do you feel you need, not everybody else, religion to survive?
My definition,
No, 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 no. The definition
the
of
the, the general
the
definition.
the definition, not your definition, but
Okay.
I want to get your I want to get your answer from Webster's definition of it's just a belief. It's basically a belief.
Webster definition, no. For me, no.
Okay.
But when I say my definition,
Okay.
it's just like I said, take away all the fluff. Let's get down to principles,
Okay.
the meat and potatoes of what it is all about. 'Cause like I said, religion's supposed to bring you closer to spirituality.
Okay.
That's my belief.
Okay.
Okay. You're supposed to, when it comes to principle, morals, ethics, all of that, as life go on, you know, as you keep living, you get better and better. That's just what I believe.
Okay. But and so I asked you that because I was thinking about you because that what you just said for the principles and things getting better and better has nothing to do with the belief of assuming a superhuman power.
I get that, but that's why I asked if you talk about Webster's
Yeah,
version
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. And see, and that's the reason I like to define things
I
so that
got you.
so I
I
can
got
get everybody on the same page. Because believe me, if I get your definition, and then if I mess around and get the next person definition, if I mess around and get
you.
the next person, we have a lot of definitions going on
I
around
get
here
you. But
because people will be speaking on how they feel about it. So that's why, and that's one of the biggest reasons. And as a matter of fact, that's the reason I define words before we get into our topic a lot of times. Some words that are in the topic, I would define them because I work to bring us to the same reference of either Webster or Merriam or wherever I've, brought the definition from. So,
okay.
so okay, go ahead on, coach.
So let me put it this way. Because I thought about it too. Even as today started, this day started, I thought about it. And let me put it like this. We got all these religions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a Christian society. Let's deal with where we are, Christian society and all that. And
Okay.
we got all these problems. And it just popped into my head, what would our society be like without the little, I said little because we're not getting deeper into the essence of what it's supposed to be. What would our society be like without religion, period? What would our society be like? You know, we know that this was not in the beginning. You had African spirituality, you had what do they call it, the laws, principles of Ma'at, all of that, if we want to go deeper. And societies were in existence prior to the modern day, what we know as religion. So if we grab hold to this day and age, society is not getting better, okay? From what I see,
Mm-hmm.
what would society be like without it completely?
It'll be just as it is. If we didn't have religion, it'll be just, I want you to think about it for a second. It'll be
Okay.
just as it is because just because we have religion, and
Mm.
here it goes right here, and we're
Okay.
not living the principles of it, the religion don't mean nothing. So it'll be just
True.
like it is.
True. True.
It'll be just like
Or
it is.
I think it'll be worse, but that's just my yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
probably worse.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be even worse because
Yeah.
at least, just like you said earlier, at least sometimes the people will grab a hold to the religion, and when they're going through things, they try to use the God, use
Exactly.
the
Oh,
belief.
yeah, yeah,
They try
yeah,
to use
yeah,
it,
yeah,
but they
yeah.
yeah. So it would definitely be
Okay.
even worse. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you. It would be even worse.
Mm.
And Lord have mercy if it get any worse than what it is. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But what about this right here? What if you didn't have religion and somebody brought you up on standards and principles?
Well, you know what?
Ooh.
But I always believed there were certain standards and principles.
Yeah.
Prior to all this, I really believed it. Society had to run some sort of structure. You know what I mean? I can't believe prior to all of this, people just taking advantage, blatant advantage of each other and doing everything really need. No, they had to have some sort of structure, you know?
Absolutely. And what I see now, I see right now today in 2025, I see people who do not subscribe to religion, but live on standards and
A
principles
principle, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
live just as well as the people that are hooked on the religion that are not living by the standards and principles of that religion.
Okay, and I really believe every human being, I don't care your background, color your skin, where you educated. I don't care what none of that. I feel every human being should have some sort of standards, principles, morals, ethics. No, I don't do that. No, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
hey, yeah,
Absolutely. And I
yeah.
can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you this that if you move religion out the way, and you based it on just the standards and got rid of the stories, move the religion part, move the belief, you can move all of that out the way. And if someone had to live on standards and principles, I guarantee you they'll live a better life than living the religion life without the standards and principles. Because what happens, a lot of times the religion have you depending on someone else to come and help you, where your standards and principles gonna put it on you. And that
And that people, well, isn't that people's fault?
absolutely.
Isn't that people's fault? Okay, because
Absolutely.
but whatever you learn outside your standards and principles, that's supposed to enhance.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not enhancing, then it's not beneficial to you or society. So I would think because of religion and what you can get, whatever positive you can get out of that,
Mm-hmm.
you add it on to what you already know, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to enhance what you know to be a better individual. Hence that will spread. But if people just going, doing the norm, going every Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever they go,
Mm-hmm.
and ask for forgiveness, then go back out and do the same crap, man. Come on. That's that's
Absolutely.
that's the people right there.
That's the people. And then it
You
lets
know?
you know that, but those are the religious people. Those are the religious people.
Well, they say they're religious.
They
Let me
say absolutely.
say they're
They
religious.
say that they're the religious
They
people.
say that.
So
Yeah.
so by them being and consider themselves the religious people, it lets you know that if they took the standards and principles, whether it's of that belief, just right and wrong, moral and characters, you don't need that belief. You don't need it because you got it
Mm-hmm.
and you're not doing nothing with it because you're not living by the standards and principles. You can't get around it. Just like you just said earlier, man, if we live by do's and don'ts and standards and principles, I guarantee you, we'll definitely be in a better place because a lot of them are part of a religion, but have no standards and have no principles and have no morals and have no character. So if you're going to, and that's why I say, I never knock anybody belief or religion. My problem is you telling me that you believe in something, but I don't see the action that you're living that belief. That's the problem. That's the problem. So
I
I,
got
I
you.
just I
I
just
got
I,
you.
I just thought about you and I just wanted to get a little bit more of that. So I want to jump into this right quick and I ain't gonna hold you long because from a conversation, I know I sent you another title early, but I
Yeah, yeah, I
talked
got you. I got both. I got you.
but
Go
I
ahead.
talked
Yeah.
to some people, man, during the course of this week, and I want to talk about handling substance abuse and the death of a loved one. That's what I want to chop it up for just a second. Handling substance abuse and dealing with the death of a loved one. All right, so like I said, I like to define some things to make sure that we're all on the same page. Right? So let's just do it and let's run through it and get to it. Let's get busy. Handling, to deal with, have responsibility for, or be in charge of substance abuse, the harmful or hazardous use. Remember this word, psychoactive substances. Remember that, including alcohol and illicit drugs, excessive amount of something that can lead to social, physical, emotional, relationship, and job-related problems. I always remember that. And when we talk about the death of a loved one, death is the action or fact of dying or being killed, the end of life for a person. Remember that. Remember that. So let's bring it close to home. Let's break it right to home. I'm talking about losing a husband or a wife, losing a mother or a father. When I'm talking about a death, and I want to even make it a little bit crazier than that. I'm talking about losing a child.
Right.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I had this conversation with somebody this week. I'm talking about losing a child because a lot of people say that, you know, I'm supposed to bury my child. I mean, my child's supposed to bury me first. I don't supposed to bury my child. And even though they are two different situations, talking about substance abuse and the death of a loved one, even though they are two different situations, they both have something in common that I want to share with you just for a moment. They both have something in common. And if you're going to make it through either situation, substance abuse or the death of a loved one, what makes them have and what makes them both that have the same common situation, you as an individual, and we just spoke about an individual, you as a person, you as an individual have to learn how to deal with trauma that comes from both situations. That's why I always tell you, that's why this is the most profound information on YouTube, because when you're dealing with the mind, the body, and the soul, you can't escape it. Like you always say, Coach, all we talking about is life. That's
life,
all. Yeah. That's all we talking about. So in both situations, when you're dealing with substance abuse, or even when you're dealing with the death of a loved one, what they both have in common is they both brings trauma. And trauma is when we experience very stressful, frightening, distressing events that are difficult to cope with, things when they are out of control. Remember this right here. The psychological trauma is a severe emotional response to stressful events that overwhelms a person's ability to process it emotionally. Both situations, we're dealing with emotions and we're dealing with, remember, the psyche. Both situations. And a lot of times people, we handle trauma different. Not everyone handles trauma the same way. But it's one thing I've been telling you guys for a long time, that if you're going to overcome anything in life, and these are two things that you have to overcome, you have to learn how to connect your mental state to that which dwells within you. You can't get around it in both situations. It's going to come from here, and you're going to have to tap into your mental state, and you have to tap into your spirit, that which dwells within you. Because if you don't, it'll begin to affect you physically. You can't get, you can't. That's what I'm trying to explain. See, this thing is not hard. This journey, when you really sit down and begin to isolate yourself and begin to meditate and to really begin to build that relationship with you and that which dwells within you, you'll become a professional in life, because what happens is life begins to slow down. It's just like playing baseball. If I put someone who can't hit 100 miles an hour fastball, when that ball zipped by them, they ain't took the bet off their shoulder yet. You understand what I'm saying? But a professional can slow that ball down as it coming down through there and take it up out the ballpark. So we got to learn how to slow this thing down. So I'm gonna start right there, and coach, I'm gonna let you go in, and I want to see what you think about handling or whatever you got, handling substance abuse or the death of a loved one. What you think about that? Those are two. Those right there. They're
I
both
can't, I
devastating.
can't, I can't really, well, let me say, I never really thought deeply about the substance abuse thing. I know about the death of loved one.
Mm.
You know, that, I never really thought about the correlation between the two, but anyway, I go ahead. I know my mom was sick, but she passed, what, 2007, a year after I came to Georgia from up north.
Mm.
I thought had it handled until I went to work. And I was working with Comcast at that time. Went to work, man. I told him, still the manager, and I just broke down. You know what I mean? I said, man, when you go home, I said, I thought I'd be all right, but I just broke down. And no one could have told me that that would have occurred. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never been through that before. You know what I mean? But as time go on, man, I learned to see, life, death is part of life. Even though you can't prepare for it, you know it's coming, you know, and just be aware that, hey, it is part of life, man. Just enjoy the time you got with whoever's around you's close, whatever. So that if that happens, that well, look, man, I don't really have no regrets. You know what I mean? Because I enjoyed it. As far as the substance abuse, man, personally, I was always a person, I do a little something, but I never went deep into it like that. You know what I mean? A cocktail or two, and I'm good. You know what I mean? Because some days I don't even want to smell it. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, some I don't want to deal with. So I can't really speak too much in that. But definitely I did that, like I said, that kind of true, man. Even when I heard about kids dying, I'm like, man, I can't imagine what it feels like as a parent. You know what I mean? Hey man, you gotta bury your child. That right there, man, I always imagine about it, what it would be like when I see people go through, even with the stuff in Texas, right? The
Mm.
flood and all of
Absolutely.
that right there, man.
Absolutely.
That's like, dang.
Yep.
That hits hard because you talking about a young kid. My kid's grown now, but you talking about young kids, man. I can't even imagine that, man.
And just think about this. You know, I can't tell anybody how they should feel when they lose a
Oh
loved
no,
one
no,
or
you
anything like that
you
right
no.
there.
Mm-mm,
And people grieve different. And
mm-mm.
I can't express to you how it feels to lose a child. I just had a buddy who lost a child. And so I can't
Man,
yeah. So I can't
that
I can't tell
mm,
you how it feels to lose a child. I can't tell you that. But one thing I can tell you is this right here, by me doing the study of the mind, the body, and the soul, that if you're gonna overcome it, it's gonna definitely take the mindset and it's gonna take your spiritual connecting.
yeah,
See, a
yeah,
lot of people hadn't thought about that. And those are
yeah.
the two things that you're going to have to make sure, because if you do not connect them together, it's going to begin to affect you physically. And it depends on where you are in life. And then it depends on what's trapped in your conscious mind, further as your relationship with you and the child. Let's just do a parent and a child and
Yeah,
losing
yeah.
their child. Let's deal with that. So we don't know the closeness, that the parent and the child had, what type of trauma, what type of disagreements. It's a lot going on. And so a lot of times if you mess around and lose that child that you didn't have a good relationship with, or either if you
Yeah.
did have a good relationship with, what is going on in your conscious mind that got you to the point now where you can't rest? You're very uneasy.
Guilt is one. Yeah,
You,
guilt.
you understand what I'm saying? It's yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot going on that deals with your psyche. Now, if you're already a drinker, are you drinking even more now? If you smoke, are you smoking even more? So
Mm.
that's why in both situations, and I want to make it real simple so folks can see, man, maybe you need to seek some help. Because in both situations, I don't know if a lot of people thought about it, you're gonna have to make sure that your subconscious is clear of some things and that you get your mental state together and learn how it's going to eventually, it's going to take time for you to go through whatever stages you need to go through of grieving, but knowing that one day that you will see that loved one again, it's something that you're going to have to do. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to may think that it's very crazy, but if you're not exercising and to lose a loved one, a lot of people don't understand how much exercising and changing your diet would change your mindset.
Mindset. Yeah.
How it would change your
Yeah.
mindset, how it begin to change your spirit. It'll change you and put you in a better place, and it can help you accept a lot of things that a lot of situations have literally mentally broken people. You understand? So in both situations, we have to make sure that we deal with our psyche and our spiritual. Now, when we deal with substance abuse, one of the first things we have to do is admit that we have a problem. That's one of the first things we have to do is admit that we have a problem. And
Mm.
yeah, see that,
Mm.
here we go. And that's why we can't a lot of times
Mm.
heal from substance abuse, because once again, that broad umbrella of there's a reason why you're drinking, there's a reason why you're smoking, there's a reason why that behavior that you're carrying out that you won't sit down and deal with. Was it trauma that I dealt with? What am I trying to escape? See, it's deep. And as a
Mm.
people, we are not sitting down and we're not willing to sit down with each other to help each other. Because, like I said, a lot of times, if you don't realize that you have a problem, admit that you have a problem, then if you don't see where it need to be fixed, then you won't work to fix it. And I see that a lot with us, that we have problems. And like I always say, where is abnormal has become normal. So we don't see
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. And once you identify what's causing that abuse, you can never heal from it until you learn, once again, you have to learn how to connect your mental state to your spiritual state. And once again, if it's deeper, it can be deep where you can come out of it yourself or come out of it with a mentor. It can be deeper where you need to go and seek help. And let's see what's going on. Could have been in your genes from your family, or your dopamine, serotonin. These things could be off where you need help. But sometimes we just need a little self-control, some discipline, and some principles and some standards. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There you
Sometimes
go.
that do and don't list and those standards, especially when you start talking about substance abuse, those things right there, that's why I say you can't get around them. Those things right there alone would begin to help you heal. And family, man, if we could mess around, we did the video, do and don't, standards and principles. I promise you, if you can tap into those things will change your life. And whether you know it or not, if you're going to get over the death of a loved one, it's going to take a certain mindset, connecting it to your spirit. Because, like I said earlier, if you don't, it's going to begin to affect you physically. Because what
Yeah.
happens, stress
Mm.
is not good on the organs. it'll begin to break your body down, that a lot of people don't understand. It'll begin to take you in depression. And we have to be careful, because a lot of times we'll work to start trying to self-medicate. And that's where the alcohol and the whatever abuse that we'll start abusing ourselves, like we don't want to be here anymore because we have lost that loved one. So that's why I say, if you need to get help, make sure you get help. And don't take it more to the bottle. Don't take it more to homemongering. Don't take it more to the drugs. Don't do that. If you need help, seek help. And we have to make sure that we work on keeping a positive mindset, knowing that one day, that whoever you lost, you'll see them again. Anything you want to share, Coach, before we move on?
I always talk about the truth and loving yourself. And I know you can go through some turmoil in your life, where you feel like man, I want to be out of here and what have you. But really, do you really want to? Do you really want to be out of here? Especially not knowing what tomorrow brings. Next day, the next month, the next year, you don't know, man. Try to stay in this journey as long as you can. Like you say, you can't tell someone how to deal with their trauma, but you got to be honest with yourself. You know when you're throwing back too much. You know when it's affecting you in a negative way. I mean, come on, man. If you're honest with yourself, But like you said, I mean, if you know it's affecting you that way and you can't stop it yourself, go get that help, man.
Got to go get
help.
Get
that help.
Got to get help.
It might be too much for you to handle by yourself, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by you saying that right there, and what you said a little earlier, one of the problems, and I'm going to point this out, and this is a fact, one of the problems we have that we don't love ourselves. Just sit down and think about it. Don't get mad. Don't get all in your feelings and emotions about it. All you have to do is look at your behavior towards yourself.
You. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Don't get mad. Ask yourself, do you love yourself? Define what love is, showing a strong liking to something, and then say, look at your behavior and match them up and see, are you showing yourself a strong liking? Because I promise you, if I put 1 million people in a room and ask them, do they love themselves, 2 million hands will go up. Both. Yeah. But if I watch your behavior toward yourself, then that's the problem. That's why even in the Bible, when it said, love thy neighbor as you love yourself, and then I see how you treat your neighbor.
Yeah.
I see how you treat. Yeah. Love thy neighbor as you. I see how
love, man.
Ain't no love. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't even love yourself. So I see how you treat your neighbor. So we have to be careful with that right there. And I'm gonna tell you, so I'm gonna see what you think about this right here. When someone is going through the substance abuse and definitely the death of a loved one, tell me what you think about this right here. When people tell them that God is going to fix it and God is going to do this and God is going to do that. Coach, I think we got to be very careful. Now, if you're talking to another believer and they believe in what you believe, and y'all want to do the God thing, then okay.
Y'all on the same wavelength. Okay, I get that.
If y'all on the same wavelength. But I'm talking to someone earlier this week that does not subscribe in God. And to be very honest, kind of tired of hearing people talk about God, because in their mind, if this was this so loving God and God this and God that, why he took my child away from me? So so we have to look at it from, everybody don't subscribe to your belief. So we have to be careful when someone is going through something where we start talking about our belief. We have to be careful with our belief with some people who don't subscribe to your belief, because whether you know it or not, you really push some people away even further. You may say, well, I can draw him closer or draw her closer, but sometimes you push people further away. So my suggestion, and it's just a suggestion, when someone is going through, especially the death of a loved one, your condolences is sufficient enough.
Yeah, yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
your condolences. If you pull up the word condolences, they're sufficient enough for some people. Everybody don't want to hear about God because everyone doesn't subscribe to your belief. So
Not only that though, it's traumatic as that is, that person in a blaming in a blaming zone right now, if you will.
yeah.
Especially it's not their fault. Not like it was an accident, they were driving or something happened. No. So it's blaming because, and that's what I talk about spirituality, man, is so important. Because if you're not grounded, how you gonna sustain that? You know, how you gonna sustain that? I mean, even though it hurts physically, and you grounded spiritually, you can say, "Look, man, this is bigger than me. I ain't had no parts of this. I didn't see this coming. It's bigger than me. I'm gonna do my best. You know what I mean, to get over this. But hopefully, I can see, you know, the other side of what this is about, because it's bigger than me. You know what I mean? How you expect a human being who are not doing anything, to facilitate that, take that and be cool with it, man? Come on, man. Mm-mm.
So I just thought about that, from the conversation that I had, and we have to be careful just speaking out of formality. So that's the religion thing. It's just formality, it's just custom. This is just something that's been said
Man.
throughout generations, and we have to be careful with that because everyone is not subscribing to that. And I'm telling you, over the years, I've had people don't want to hear about your God thing. So shoot me a comment and let me know, family, what you think about that.
Mm.
About you telling someone that, just believe and everything will be all right. Now, if they don't tap into their mental state and connect
Man.
that to their spiritual state, here's a fact. No, it's not gonna be all right. It's
That
not.
man, they can lose it, man.
Absolutely.
They can literally lose it, man, and don't ever come back off on the strength of that, man.
Absolutely. Facts. Those are facts. And now I
Mm.
want the family to see. I was strolling through Facebook. It's so much killing boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and then they killing themselves, they killing their partner, and then
Yeah,
killing themselves. Man,
yeah.
this mental illness has went crazy. Our feelings and emotions, and we have to always remember this right here. Anytime your feelings and emotion goes up in the negative, your intellect drops. It drops. So when you're scrolling through Facebook and you seeing they had a good thing going, they got a small child, then all of a sudden you in the barbershop getting your hair cut, this person come in and just blow you away while you sitting in the chair. Yeah. And then when they're headed out, the police can already got there because people are already calling because they hear the commotion. Now they hear the gunshots back because it's in a lavish place. So it's a lot going on. So these people can already call the police because they hear what's going on. So the police arrived, and all of a sudden, you don't want to deal with the consequences. So you just take your own life. Yeah, this just happened. And I mean, you could just go through that and see all the incidents of us just killing ourselves and killing ones that we supposed to say that we love. Man, this mental illness, and that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. You cannot make it through this journey without learning how to control your psyche. Remember, your psychological issues that you have, you got to work on it. You got to sit down and be able to say, whoa, let me get this thing together psychologically. And then you have to connect that to your standards and principles that dwells within you that a lot of us are not even using. We're not even using them. And we have them, but we're not using
Mm.
them. That's why I was
Right.
saying, yeah, we're not using them. Think about it. It's simple. I've broken it down. The journey is not a hard journey. I don't have no rent. I don't have no rent. I haven't been to go to work. You just chilling. You just sitting at home chilling, smoking, drinking. Go to work. How you get sent home from your job from a fast food restaurant and it piss you off so bad that you go back and stab the
Right.
manager up. Stop playing with me. What's wrong with us? And you could just go through it. Just go through Facebook and just look at all the different cases. And you're gonna tell me psychologically that something is not wrong. There's a lot of trauma. And when they're dealing with substance abuse and the death of a loved one, those two things right there are so much, they have so much in common because both is going to take you working on your mindset and working on your spirit, and can't nobody help you but yourself.
That's it right there.
Can't nobody help you.
Yeah,
If
but
if
you,
if you could tap into whatever that, but it's on you. It's on you, family. So if you're going to overcome anything in life, and I'm talking about those have to be two of the toughest challenges that when we dealing with some type of substance abuse or we have lost a loved one, come on, man, those have to be two of the toughest challenges in life. And what you have to learn to do is connect the mindset to the spirit. And I guarantee you, if you learn how to do that, you'll make it through this journey. If you need my help, hit me up, coach. You got 3 minutes. I'm done.
yeah, man. I tell you, this right here, man. Uh, we know, well, you know, someone just went through it
Yes,
recently,
sir.
and I know a lot of us either went through it personally, either one or the other,
Mm.
or know someone that went through it, man. And everybody, like you said, deal with tragedy as well as abuse,
Absolutely.
substance abuse differently, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Um, that mental and that spiritual, I guess because I always saw it like that, it's not hard for me to see that really that's all we got. You know, that's all we got. Well, we got stuff on the outside that we can pack onto that, but that's the essence of what it is, man. You know, with anything, just imagine. I know what it feels like to lose a job. Well, I mean, five, 6 times. So I know what it feels like to lose a job. But it's always the other job or the other situation is always better than the past one. You know what I mean? Some people don't know that. Some people never had to deal with that. So you talking about losing your money plus having all these bills and ain't got no cushion. I can see somebody going ballistic. I ain't saying it's right, but I can see that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we got to protect ourselves, man, financially. You know, we got to tap in mentally. We got to see about ourselves, definitely spiritually, man, because a lot of things gonna happen in your life where you're gonna have to withstand, and it's just you in the situation, you in the situation. What you gonna do? You're gonna fold, or you're gonna stand up and see it through. You know, some things we can't explain is bigger than our, intelligence, man. So we just have to deal with it. Now, how are you gonna deal with it? A strong mind, strong spirituality, man. You definitely can get over it, man. And a decent outlet. I ain't talking about outlet to take you out, but outlet to make you better. You know what I mean? That's why working out, man, we always talk about it. So take care of yourself, folks, and love yourself, man. Love yourself. And be honest with yourself too. Make sure you're honest with yourself, man. That's my take, man.
I'm gonna leave it right there, coach. Until the next time, I'm gonna take your advice and I'll holler.
All right, take care.